This is Bedwars. It is one of the most popular minigames in Minecraft history, and the game isn't particularly complicated, but it definitely has plenty of depth. And so in order to hone my Minecraft commands, I've been recreating this minigame in vanilla Minecraft using nothing but command blocks. And it's had its ups and downs, which is why I've been documenting my journey as I go, one day at a time. But some things just don't fit into a YouTube short, which is why today we're taking a deeper dive into this Bedwars world. Alright, so I've actually made a lot of progress on this world, and to start us all off, I'm going to give you guys a tour of what I've made so far. This right here is where it all started, a big empty world and one bedrock block. Around this bedrock, I created some basic islands, such as the center island that I'm standing on, and the cakes and minor islands that you can see behind me. And in the beginning, it looked really empty and pretty boring, so I was a little hesitant to make a video about any of it, which is why I made this simple wool mock-up of what the home island is going to look like. And they end up changing this a lot later, but it does set a foundation for what the project is going to look like. And once I had everything laid out for the main area, that's when I got to work on the lobby. And in order to keep everything in the same world, I actually ended up just teleporting 2,000 blocks in the Z direction. That way nobody would be able to see it, but I could have everything still in the same world. Now in the beginning, this all just started out as a wool island. But as you can see, I've put my own little twist on it, and this is the theme you're going to see across the whole map. And the theme that I was going for was this overgrown and eroding floating islands. And I think this minor island really captures that theme well. And same with our home island once I got it decorated, though it's not exactly finished. Anyways, we're gonna go back to the lobby because right underneath the main lobby island is everything that's gonna run this contraption. You'll see here this first layer houses all the command blocks that run it so far, and then just underneath is my brainstorming area, which you may know from my short. And just underneath that, these are special camera controls. They don't actually contribute to the game, they're really just so that I can record the video. But they're kind of a secret, so don't tell anybody. And that's really the whole world. So feel free to make yourself at home, because I know what you're really here for. You don't want to see my so-called building skills, you're interested in the commands, so let's jump right into them. And to do that, we're gonna have to go all the way back to the beginning. So I'm back here in our original lobby to take a look at the commands that I had all the way back in the beginning. You're gonna notice there's really only two functions going right now. This one on the right has all the team colors on it, as you can see. And this is what's responsible for sorting players into random teams. It's a very simple command where it just adds a random team's color as a tag to a player. Each one of these will do that for a different color, and it will just repeat until everybody's been sorted to a team. And once everybody's been sorted into a team, that's where this second block of command blocks takes over. And it is kind of a lot, but it really does just do one simple thing. So first off, you'll get assigned to your team. I was given red in this example. Next, you'll be teleported to your base, and then it's going to start a 5-second countdown until it goes. And there's actually no box holding you in place to not play before the first 5 seconds are disabled, which is where I use this new command that I just learned. It's an input permissions, and it really just means that you can make it so that they can't move no matter how hard they try. Now the only other command that you're going to notice back here in the beginning is this purple command block, and this is responsible for creating the item generator. And it's a very simple command that is just loading a structure that has a copper ingot inside of it. And it just repeats this once every 20 ticks, which is 1 second. After I had these basic startup functions working, I moved on to this minor island. Now there's 4 of these around the map, and they're crucial to Bedwars because when you capture one, that gives your team better resources. And the very first thing that I did was decorate them because these wool islands were just not cutting it. And this is where I got to work on making it so that you can capture the islands. And this turned out to be the hardest portion of the whole project so far. And the idea seems easy enough, where you just test for a player in here and then you change it to one color or you change it to another color. But it turned out to be pretty difficult for me. Though I will admit, I think a lot of the difficulty came from trying to get this animation to work. But it was so worth it because it looks pretty sick. So at the heart of the whole contraption is underneath everything here. And you'll see we get down here, there's an armor stand. And this armor stand is given a tag called minor 1. And I did this so that I could just place the armor stand anywhere I needed an island and it would be capturable independently. And with an idea of how it should operate, I got to work on making the commands to make it all function. And it ended up being pretty hefty, as you can see here. These 2 huge lines of command blocks are responsible for everything that has to do with capturing the point. Now it's a little convoluted as all these command blocks in the middle are just handling that animation section. And this is just testing for a player walking close enough to the beacon to start capturing it. When a player gets close enough, it starts a counter. And as this counter goes up, these animation command blocks will change the wool and glass to be the right color. And after 5 seconds of you being in the zone, it's officially captured and it's turned to your team's color. And that seems like it should work, but that's only half of it because you also have to account for another team taking the color away from yours. And that's where the second row of command blocks comes up, and it works basically the same, but in reverse with the same counter and everything. And on the back here, I added these command blocks to let you know your team is losing or capturing a point. Now that I had all the commands done for capturing and losing an island, I started to work on the kits for the teams. And it all started here with this command block to give everybody a kit. Basically all it is a replace item command block, which is giving you leather armor and a wooden sword. It's pretty basic, but also there's no good way to give dyed armor to a player in Minecraft. At least not a way that I know of. And typically the armor color is how you would tell your teammates apart from foes, which kind of poses a big problem since I don't have this in my game. But I found another way that you can distinguish your teammates with colored name tags. Now typically you can't change the name tag of a player just using commands, but you can have colored scoreboard objectives using the section sign, and then you can set the display of these scoreboards below the name tag of a player. And while it doesn't work in a first person view, when you're viewing your enemies and your teammates, you'll see their name tag and the color underneath it. And with all that sorted, that brings us to the shop section. Now this part had me worried because most servers just use a plugin to create custom menus, and there's not really any way we can do this with command. But then I found something that completely solved that problem, and this is it. These are NPCs, and I kind of forgot they were in the game because I've never used them before. But you can summon them with a simple summon command like this, and you'll get this kind of weird looking lady, I think. But if you right click them, you can choose to set the skins to whatever you want. You can change the name, you can edit dialogue here, and you can even add commands, which is crucial because that is exactly what we needed. And now I haven't finished the shop completely yet, but using these NPCs, I do know how we can create it. There's going to be 3 tiers of items, so I've named these 3 shops to be appropriate to those tiers, though I haven't decided what they'll be yet. And I've got a working concept in this first one, so I'm going to set my game mode to adventure so you can see what the players will see in the game. You'll walk up, and when you right click on them, you'll see this dialogue. Now I've started with a very basic message, just a level 1 shop, and I've added 3 buttons, so you can add infinite here. Now I'll hop back in creative to show you what's going on here. When you open your NPC, at the very bottom you'll see advanced settings, which are really the only good settings here. Now in here you'll see I have 3 buttons, and at the bottom you can click add command. When you do that, you'll be left with this window. You can change it to button mode and add a name, just like that, and then you can write your commands in here. And now you'll see just like that, it's added a button. And when we click it, it'll give us that golden apple. And you're actually able to write multiple lines of commands in here. So we can have another command that will make sure the player has enough resources to buy this item. And that's really everything that we need to make a working shop for our Bedwars. And so I haven't worked out all the details, but it's looking very promising. And ultimately, we have a long ways to go before it's all finished, but it's coming along really nicely, and I've learned a lot, and I think it's looking incredible. But do you know what else has been looking incredible? All of these videos that have been coming out in the past month. And that is thanks to my new editor, Yassine. Yassine is very talented, and he's been editing my videos for almost a month now. And the craziest part of it all is he's been doing it for free. And now my channel is not big enough to get monetized, but I would love to say thank you to him. And if you would too, then you can hit this join button, and 100% of the money there goes straight to Yassine because he deserves it. And so a huge thank you to you, Yassine. And thank you to all you viewers. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.